You are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you are wasting your time, because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward. And the sooner you get that, the sooner your life gets into gear.
Here's the truth. This is the reality, okay? Nobody's going to believe in you until you've already done it. Nobody's going to come and celebrate with you until you've already done it. The work is going to come before the belief, which means you're going to have to work for a long fucking time by yourself with no applause, with no awards, with nobody telling you good job. And then once you start to build something and people start to see the momentum and they start to see the result and you start doing some things, then you're going to get a little belief.
And the common denominator of failure is blaming something else. In the height of the recession, we all blame the recession. We blame Congress, we blame the president, we blame Greece for a while, right? The euro was killing some bar named Joe's Bar in Toledo. We blamed everything but ourselves. But yet if you think about it, in the height of the recession, somebody was making money. Why not you? So if you didn't blame the recession, if you blamed yourself, you might have acted differently. You see, every day you wake up and blame somebody else is a day you don't have to do anything about it. If you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you say, I'm failing because of me, even in sight of the recession, even in existence of the various problems, construction in my street, competitive environment, new digital world, meat prices are high, no matter what, you can make money. Look in the mirror and own it. I'm failing because of me. And don't allow any excuse to get involved. You won't like it. And if you don't like being a failure, then that day you're going to do something differently. And the next morning, wake up and say it again, and say it again, until you can look at yourself and say, I fixed it. Own your failure, and then you'll own your success. This is all about self-accountability. If you take that accountability and push it aside and put it on your employees, your boss, your rent, your utility costs, anything other than you no longer have accountability and you skate free, and then you're on a path of failure.
Nobody is going to cry for you. They have their own tears. One thing I'm positive about is how ROI negative complaining is and how much I'm trying to suffocate the practice of it. I really have been fascinated by people that have changed their mindset into understanding that everything that is not going well right now is their fault. It has been remarkably important to me in understanding that everything that I'm not happy about is on me. It's a remarkably interesting brain twist. The amount of energy spent on things that you can't control versus being accountable to what you can control has been a huge separator for me in the last 4 or 5 years as I've dug deep.
Take full responsibility for what happens to you. It's one of the highest forms of human maturity, accepting full responsibility. It's the day you know you've passed from childhood to adulthood, the day you accept full responsibility. And another note, learn to reap in the fall without apology. Without apology if you do well, and without complaint if you don't. That's maturity.
Only you can save you if you don't accept full responsibility for your life. No resolution, no goal, no dream will save you. You must take full responsibility for your life, for the good that arrives and the ugly and inconvenient. If you are the type to play the blame game, to play victim, bad things always happen to me. I'm not where I want to be because of this person or because of this event. If you are this type of person, you will never get on in life.
The decisions you make right now is up to you. You crying about something that happened to you when you was a kid. You ain't even no kid no more. You a grown man. Take full ownership. The stupid stuff you doing, your parents didn't make you play no video games. And what you crying about? So what your daddy wasn't there? Your mama ended up getting married. What you crying about? He went to work every day. He never beat you. He never abused you. Your mama did the best she knew how to do. What you crying about? You grew up in a house. What you crying about? Till somebody beat your butt because you did something you wasn't supposed to do? What you crying about? Nobody just came home and started whipping you. Man up.
Well, what are you leaving out if you're leaving out responsibility? And the answer might be, well, maybe you're leaving out the meaning of life. That's what it looks like to me. It's like, here you are, suffering away. What makes it worthwhile? Rights? You know, you're completely out. You have no idea what it's almost impossible to describe how bad an idea that is. Responsibility. That's what gives life meaning. It's like lift a load. Then you can tolerate yourself, right? Because look, you're useless, easily hurt, easily killed. Why should you have any self-respect?
You know, if you're going to exist as a leader and as a human, then you need to take responsibility for what happens around you. And that's, again...
Yeah, you have to take, well, the religious notion in some sense is that you have to take ultimate responsibility, in that, in some sense, the things that happen around you, something like every man is responsible for everything that happens to him and everything that happens to everyone else. But there's a level at which that's metaphysically true, you know, because what happens is that it's failure to act often that's the most catastrophic. It's to not do the right thing when the situation presents itself. And it's very specific. You know, you're constantly in situations where you could do the right thing if you were willing to take a risk that's actually of relatively moderate size. And you know that you could take the risk, and you know that you should take the risk, and you don't. And that happens to people all the time. And then what happens is the thing that they didn't oppose grows a little bit, and they shrink a little bit. And that starts a loop, hey?
Taking responsibility for whatever happens to you. Knowing that you have consciously made the decisions that are now affecting you. Knowing that what is happening now, today, is the direct result of your activity, what you did yesterday. Self-reliance means counting on yourself, trusting yourself, being confident with yourself, being responsible to yourself, trusting your own instincts, trusting the conclusions that you have developed from your study of experiences and philosophies, taking the credit that is due you, learning from the mistakes that you have made.
You have to begin telling yourself a different narrative. And the narrative you tell yourself about yourself is everything. And once I switched my narrative to being the learner, it didn't matter where I started, it only mattered where I was trying to go. And as long as I had that clarity, then I could execute, because I believed I could do anything I set my mind to without limitation.